Hi everyone, it's Dave. Just sat in the back garden here under the silver birch tree with the elderflowers over here in the shade on this very warm day. Got loads of insects on me here, green spider thing there, some flies there. Anyway, so I hope you can hear me okay. Bit of a breeze today. I just wanted to say, first of all, thanks very much to everybody who's sent the lovely messages, supportive messages in relation to the post that I put on the Telegram channel, which was the letter to Boris Johnson from my mum about the jab, my dad's death, and the lack of acknowledgement and the corruption and evil at play. So I just wanted to again say thanks to everyone for your lovely comments. I will make sure I reply. I'm working my way through the replies, got loads on Telegram, 1 or 2 on YouTube, but yeah, so thanks for that. Please, if you've not already seen it, just click on the link to my Telegram channel in the description and you can see it. Very, very comprehensive and heartfelt and, you know, to the point letter containing, you know, all the questions that so many people around the world now need answering. And I just wanted to do this video to get your thoughts really on where you think the general public is at in relation to this. Now, we talk about waking up, don't we? And without a shadow of a doubt, there's a hell of a lot of people now who look at the world in a different way. There's a lot of people, millions of people, tens of millions of people who've done a 180 on the COVID thing, for example. You only need to look at the statistics, you know, official government statistics that are out there in relation to the uptake of the jab, to see that there was a hell, or that there continues to be and a growing level of non-compliance and resistance to being involved at all in this vaccination in inverted commas rollout. However, there are still many people, you'll know them, I know them, who will not engage, who won't acknowledge, who are saying nothing, burying their heads in the sand. And I've always been of the opinion, ever since this tyranny started, that it's not a political solution that's going to end it. And when I talk about the tyranny, I'm talking about the lockdowns, the masks, the jab rollout, but I'm also talking about the engineered economic collapse that we're now witnessing, as well as other tools that have been deployed, such as the attempted propaganda around monkeypox. You've got to laugh. The Ukraine-Russia war, which is something that it's not the current thing anymore, is it? So people have got bored with that. And of course, climate change as well. So I'm talking about the tyranny, the umbrella of tyranny, which, you know, there's one overarching aim to any tyranny, and it is to gain control, to coerce, to bombard, to take freedoms away, whether they be economic freedoms or personal freedoms or bodily freedoms or whatever. So that's what I talk about when I talk about this tyranny, and a lot of people have changed it. I've seen it for what it is, which explains the mass non-compliance that we've seen in the last 6 to 12 months, particularly since the start of the year. So that's great. So awareness is there. I'm not sure acknowledgement and confidence in being able to discuss what needs to be discussed is abounds in to a greater enough degree. And this is why I wanted to hear your opinions, because I think we're in a situation now where, yes, there are millions of people who never complied with the jabs at all. We can see that. You'll probably know loads of people, and you can see that in, you look at the official statistic. I say official statistics, um, relating to the numbers that have gone and got jabs. It's quite clear to see that they didn't get the buy-in from the population that they needed. But you've still got millions of people who are either, they might not be living in fear anymore. Don't think many are. But if told to go and get another jab, they will just go and do it. If told to wear the mask again, they would just put it back on like that, because they've become desensitized and they've normalized these very, very bizarre and strange practices. And you've got another load of people who realise they made a mistake and who are unwilling to acknowledge it, or unwilling to, maybe psychologically it's too difficult for them, or maybe it's just an ego thing. I think probably it is. They just don't want to admit they were fooled. And what needs to happen is there needs to be, we've talked about critical mass a lot. Critical mass of people to bring an end to lockdowns, critical mass of people to bring an end to compliance with wearing masks, critical mass of people to bring the vaccination program down, which it has been, because I don't think very many sane people are going to get them anymore. But then what needs to happen is a critical mass of people who are honestly and openly discussing what needs to be discussed, saying what they think, demanding the answers and the justice, and that the truth is acknowledged. And I'm hearing different takes from different people about this question: where is the general public up to, and what is public awareness, what is public acknowledgement, what is public anger. I do feel anger is building broadly. I think fear is decreasing. I don't see a fearful population anymore. I really don't. I don't know what it's like where you are. Where I am, there's hardly anyone wears the mask anymore. People's behaviour is more akin to what you would imagine human interaction to be, and what it's always been until the last couple of years. They don't seem to be particularly distracted at all by climate change, Ukraine, Russia. The monkeypox thing was just an absolute joke. Monkeypox, they're changing the name of it, aren't they? Anger's building though, I think, and it probably says a lot about where we are as a society. That the reason I think anger's building now is because I think for many people they place personal finances above all else, and certainly above basic human rights, freedom of speech and bodily autonomy, freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of expression. Because as we've seen the last couple of years, when those concepts have been under massive attack, we've not really seen anger from the normies, so to speak. But you're starting to see it now, because, as I say, people are starting to put two and two together with relation to the economy. Well, not put two and two together. They're starting to see the prices go up of everything. Interest rates now rising. Mass inflation. This looking ahead to next winter, thinking, well, how are we going to put food on the table and heat our homes? And I think it's that at the moment that is the main driver of what I would describe as a building anger in the population. Which, as I say, probably says a lot that people prioritise personal finances above basic human rights for them and their children. Unless I'm being overly cynical. Now, obviously, alongside that as well, there are many, many, many who need answers and who are so justifiably angry and upset about what's happened. The ones of us who've lost loved ones, like myself, seen loved ones injured, who've seen the effects of lockdowns and jabs on children, and So we're in a position where I think there's a lot of people who are becoming quite angry about different things. And you'll probably agree with me. You might not. Feel free to disagree. Everything is connected. You know, the economic collapse, the climate change narratives, the rise of the establishment-backed, backward, corrupt, and downright evil social movements such as the LGBT and the Black Lives Matter, and of course the COVID, what can I call it without getting banned? COVID situation. Everything is connected. Our challenge, as far as I can see it, is to challenge people as to whether there's a connection between all these things that they're seeing. Are there some overlords who are manipulating everything? Is there a pattern? Or are they all standalone events and circumstances? But from my perspective, and going back to the letter that my mum wrote, you know, right now, there is no criminal investigation. There's no media, very, very little media acknowledgement. There is some on GB News, you know, fair play to them. Neil Oliver, Mark, what's his name? He's really funny. Mark Stein or something like that. He's very, very funny as well, the way he deals with such a serious subject. Not in a light-hearted way, but who is making fun of those who have implemented it and followed it. And that is the best way to bring down tyranny, but is to mock because they don't understand humour. But so very little, no criminal investigation, no media, very little media exposure, but a basic unwillingness. Here's my opinion: a widespread unwillingness to acknowledge, for the general population to acknowledge, and that's what needs to happen. So, in order to be able to change the conversation, to ultimately feed through and put enough pressure to bring everything crumbling down. In many ways, I do understand why there's not. Because what people have accepted, willingly accepted, in some cases encouraged, endorsed, and even used to coerce others into doing what they wanted them to do. There are clearly a lot of people now who don't know how to deal with their former beliefs. They can't reconcile their behaviours with who they are now, bearing in mind what they've learned. So I understand from that point of view, and that is the ego. But surely, we're on this planet for not a very long time, for a mere stitch in time. Surely the only two things that really matter are life, and truth. So you tell me where you think the general public's up to, where the conversation is up to, the acknowledgement. Do you know anyone who's who's said to you, I got this wrong, I regret, I'm sorry that I didn't listen, I'm sorry for the people who have suffered and died and their families? Do you know anyone like that? Or are most people wishing it'd all go away still? Because I think there's only one thing worse than a terrible crime, and it's the cover-up. So I'd really appreciate hearing your views on this, getting your perception and your take on where we are generally. So please do let me know in the comments. It's a highly frustrating time when you feel that you are everything is so stacked against you, it appears insurmountable. But it was always, awareness was always the first thing. Mass awareness was always the first thing that was required, and we do have that. So that's why I feel positive from that aspect. I just want to see people being a little bit more, displaying some more intellectual honesty, some emotional intelligence, and just being a little bit brave and just saying, yeah, there was always another side to this. I got things wrong. I believe the exaggeration and the hyperbole, and I shouldn't have. And the things that have been done in the name of defeating a virus have been profoundly immoral, if not downright evil. So I think that's what's in people's heads now. I think we have the critical mass of people who've got that in their heads, that they got it in their heart to just start talking about it. Anyway, there we go. So that's my video for today. Do leave me a message in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video as well. All right, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.